Good morning on day 87. It's another day with some really gorgeous views. I've probably hiked, I don't know, a few miles this morning already, and it's through the forest in the beginning, and now that I'm up on these hillsides, it's pretty awesome. So, I could be wrong, but one of the volunteers at the Carson Pass Information Center told me that once I got on top of the hill, I would be able to see Lake Tahoe. So I am thinking that is probably it. Whew, it's like looking at the promised land. So speaking of the volunteers at Carson Pass, there was some more trail magic there today. Carson Pass is a little, I think it's Highway 88 that it's sitting right at in this little information center in the El Dorado National Forest where we are. And yeah, you arrive and there's some picnic tables, and I got there were a couple other hikers sitting there, and so I go to sit down, and somebody walks out and asks me whether I would like a Coke or a Mountain Dew, and I'm like, Coke, that would be great, thank you. And then you sit down, and a couple minutes later someone brings you a plate of snacks. Like there's some fresh fruit and some cheese and a brownie and some vegetables, and yeah, so it is just really, really neat. And as that's happening, there just happened to be another guy who was there, probably just day hiking, and he's like, oh, you guys PCT hikers? And we're like, yeah. He's like, you want some yogurt? And we're like, we won't say no. And so he brings us this like super fancy Icelandic yogurt that's has like more protein, like so much protein, I don't know, it's fancy yogurt, and it was really yummy. And yeah, and it was just so cool. And then he had some of the best cookies that I have had in a long time. I don't know who made those cookies. They're delicious. Anyway, so yeah, just show up, sit down, and people just do these amazing things, and it's so cool. And you really are so grateful for them. And then I hung out there for a little while because it's nice to hang out with people who are being nice to you. And I'm just sitting there drinking a Coke, and apparently for the rest of the population who arrives at this location in cars, it's $5 to park there, and you can only pay in cash. So this guy walks up, and he's basically asking the volunteers that I'm sitting around, and he's like, I don't have any cash, I only have a card, like, does that just mean I'm out of luck? And they're basically saying yes, and kind of explaining to him where he can park kind of further away, if he may be able to find a spot on this like dirt road, some obscure place or whatever. And one of the other hikers overhears this conversation and just says, do you need a $5, sir? And he doesn't even respond. The guy doesn't even respond at first. He's in such shock. He just kind of looks at the hiker, and so this other hiker repeats it, and eventually he gives them this $5 so that he can pay to park there. And both the guys just kind of in shock, and then one of the volunteers that I'm sitting next to is just like, wow. And the hiker just says, he's like, people do nice stuff for us all the time, so like, here, take this. And that's what I mean about when you receive this type of generosity, it makes you want to be a more generous person. Maybe this particular hiker is a super nice guy and would do that anyway, I don't know, but that's what I'm talking about, that sense of like, hey, you have a need, I can meet that need, and I'm not worried about my own needs because I know that I'm taken care of too. And I don't know, it's just really neat. And so yeah, more spirit lifting things today. Not to mention the views are still just absolutely gorgeous. This is a beautiful section of trail. I made it.
No. It's beautiful here, that lake.
Hey there, it is day 88, and I am in South Lake Tahoe. I know it doesn't look very glamorous right now. That's because I'm in the process of doing laundry, and it was so hot in the laundromat that I have now found myself sitting behind the laundromat in the trees where there was a little bit of shade and a breeze. I am wearing my ever famous Frog Togs rain suit, which I have seldom worn for rain on this trip, but it comes in useful for other things, and one of those things is laundry. When all your other clothes clothes are being washed because they're all filthy and you want them all washed, this is kind of what's left if you don't want to walk around in a towel or without clothes. I don't even have a towel, so I mean my towel is being washed. So anyway, this is it. So this is the look, but it's incredibly toasty in this thing, and so that's how I found myself sitting behind a laundromat. But anyway, I ended up getting into town last night. My plan was to get in this morning, and then I got the town fever somewhere yesterday afternoon, and I ended up doing about 26 miles and got to the Echo Summit Trailhead a little after 7, but was able to hitch. It took maybe about half an hour, and was able to get a ride into town. So yeah, today's been a very restful day. Very happy to be in town. I will probably spend all day tomorrow resting as well. I'm a little sore from this past stretch. I might have pushed a little bit harder than my body was totally happy with, but so yeah, I'm gonna happily rest and just take some downtime and kind of mentally and physically get ready for this next section.